I would say, from my experience, I'm accustomed going to development meet, championships, different track and field events here. And when I see the support that the athletes do get here, we notice that we need more people to come out and support. We need a stronger force. So when presented with the opportunity and being part of this group, I know it was going to be a lot of work, but we decided to do it all the same. Because we believe if we work together, we combine our forces together and all our specialties together, all of us, that we can actually come out and help the athletes. And that's our aim. So.
Games will be a couple of months before the Olympics. Are you happy that the local athletes will be able to gauge themselves against some of the foreign athletes leading up to the Olympics? Or happy that?
Well, not just before the Olympics, but before the national championships where we select the athletes to participate at the Olympics. And a lot of our local athletes don't have the opportunity to compete abroad. Some of them have contracts and stuff, others don't. So this is a good opportunity for those who are willing to gauge themselves before the trials and by extension before the Olympics to basically get a good run. And it's not like in the championships where they go through rounds. It's a one-off invitational, so it's just one race. So in that case, it wouldn't take much out of them. I know some of them would be skeptical with regards to the timing, but from the reception that we are getting, definitely this timing is perfect.
Dennis T. Allen from Wii Sports and various other organizations here. The stadium for track and field has been a ghost town for the last few years, and we've seen many elite level athletes. I remember after that meet that you were talking about with Daley Thompson, there was another meet when Archie Bolden was in his prime. We had Dennis Mitchell, we had quite a few elite level athletes. He brought his whole team down here.
Maurice Green.
Yes.
Maurice Green was there.
Still, it was only the covered stands. How would this event be marketed differently? Is it that you're just hoping to fill the stands, or what could you share about some of the plans that you have to put in place to fill the stands?
Well, this deserves a two-person's answer.
Wonderful.
So, with regards to the track and field aspect of it, and of course, Dhalia will speak about the marketing. Yes, you're correct. We basically have a ghost town with regards to crowd attending any of our track and field meets. Those meets that you mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, would have been Hampton Games, which was one of our annual international meet. However, this time around, of course, I would have advised the members of with regards to their goal to achieve crowd, that you cannot just do a track and field meet. You have to get something for, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, where our number one sport in terms of crowd participation is either football or cricket. T20 in the Oval, which is basically, in my opinion, I could be wrong, is a big lime, a carnival mentality. So again, they took my advice, and that is why we will be having the after party, and the giveaways. I mean, whether you like track and field or not, an opportunity to come and win a vehicle, to me, should say something. So that's from my standpoint, from the marketing standpoint, I guess.
Yes, I concur, and what I would like to stress is that we all know that our people, a lot of our people, are party people. Everybody looks at us regard us as a party nation. While our focus is the meet and the athletes, that's the point, the meet and the athletes. We don't ever want to take away from that. But to draw the crowd, we have to present a party. That's the only way we see that it would make sense to the common man on the street. And so to bring 23,000 people out, we have partnered, like I said before, with sponsors, with partners like Boom Champions. They would advertise our meet and advertise it really well. Our ads hit the radio on Monday, 14th. So, as you're driving in your car and so on, and you're listening to the radio at home, people are going to hear about Trinidad and Tobago Grand Games. They're going to hear about the after party. They're going to hear about the prize giveaways. They're going to be enticed to win cash. I mean, I think, I don't want to sound, it would be remiss of me not to say that who wouldn't want to win $10,000 on March 23rd? Who wouldn't want to win a car for $350 on May 21st? So I think those are good enticements for people who are not track and field fans, true fans of track and field. So if we get 5,000 true fans of track and field, and we get the rest of the 23,000 party animals, we are okay with that. Because the point is that it will be hopefully televised, and the point is that everyone will see our athletes perform, they will see foreign athletes perform, it will be an exciting event, and they get a 2-in-1 special, or what I would like to call a 3-in-1 special, the car, the party, and of course the track and field meet. Yes. Thanks for asking. We do have our branded water, Trinidad and Tobago Grand Games branded water, and we have promotions lined up with our water, where you can win one of 5 Samsung SX Edge phones, S6 Edge phones, sorry. And we are just awaiting word confirmation from different supermarkets that we can actually place the water there so that people can purchase them.
Second question,
So I'll keep you updated on that.
You mentioned the game is not just for 1 year. What's the long-term goal? Or you envisage the game will be the next year, 2 years, 3 years? What's the plan, the intention?
Well, our intention is, we believe the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are going to come out and support us. We are very optimistic, and we believe this. Where there's once we do get that support, we can have these games every year. We can continue. However, with lack of support, then we would have to do it biannually. But we're really hoping that we do get the support and we can do it every year.
You mentioned partners that have come on board already. What are some of the corporate partners?
Hyatt Regency has partnered us, Crystal Caribbean, who gave us our branded water. They also came aboard, and the radio stations, 94.1, 100.5.
All right, so you didn't mention a budget, but overall, a game of this magnitude, what sort of costs you're willing to say or estimated to put out, at least for this year?
It's estimated at $1 million. That's how much it costs to have an event like this. But the profit margin that can come from it, once the event is successful and we get all our promotions going, it can double the amount though. So therefore bringing revenue, not just to Trinidad and Tobago Grand Games, but for a lot of local stakeholders, from airlines to hotels to vendors to taxi drivers, because we would need public transport away from the buses and so to carry along the athletes, even when it comes to sightseeing. So a lot of different businesses will benefit from it.
Right, Mr. Voisin and Mr. Dhalia mentioned games and game equipment. What sort of prices are going to be at stake for the athletes?
With our prize money structure, our first prize after taxes are deducted, it's $4,800 US. Our second prize ranges $3,600 US. And we have our prices range from first to 8 for the 100 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter, 800 meter. And what we did is that we emailed all that information to the agents so they're aware of it. I guess that also assisted in getting the athletes there.
You mentioned certain level of athletes, Olympians, world record holders. Can we expect to see Mr. Usain Bolt in Trinidad and Tobago?
Negotiations have been going on and occurred with his agent, And as time passes, we will reveal our 100-meter athletes.
Wonderful. The Port Spain track has been, people have said that there's a tailwind, there's a magical downhill. People have questioned some of the times that have been running the 100 meters by our local athletes, and we've been saying that, if you could come down to Trinidad and test the track to see if it is actually downhill, I think we could probably see some really fast times in that 100-meter final.
Well, your comment is very real. We have heard it in the past, but there's a gentleman in this room who is directly responsible for timing and results. I don't know if you care to answer that question, Mr. Babulal?
Yes.
Yes, I'm delighted to answer the question because there have been a lot of speculation about the times produced in Trinidad and Tobago. The system we have, as I told you, is Lynx developers. They are cameras that fairly new. We have 4 cameras. Each, 3 of them have 2,000 frames per second, and the newest one is 5,000 frames per second. That means that once you cross the finish line, the camera cuts up the image into frames, and that is 5,000 per second. There's absolutely no way that you can tamper with the results. If you do that, there is a red letter and says manually entered, and that goes on to the results. So there's foolproof, cannot manipulate that. The system works with a gun sensor. There's a sensor that is attached to the start remotely, of course, because we don't take wires anymore. Once that gun goes off, it triggers the sensor by the air changes in the air pressure, and you would see the time running on all the boards so that we don't manipulate the system. Of course, Richard Thompson did, 985 in Trinidad, and then he went back and do 1001 and 1020 and so on. So people say, well, how come you make that fast time in Trinidad and after you can repeat? But I can tell you the results are real. We have to take the cameras every now and again, or every 4 years, not every now and again, to have them recalibrated so the oscillators work perfectly. So, no, once I'm doing the results, I can guarantee it's good results. The wind changes by the second. I mean, we have, again, modern wind gauges. One wind gauge is about $15,000 TT dollars. The sport company recently acquired some so that those wind gauges are attached to our system and it's displayed on the scoreboard immediately so that you see the wind reading with the results, right? We have seen the wind in the stadium. 1 minute is negative, the next minute is positive. Sometimes 4.3, sometimes 2. Yeah, you can have a tailwind, but I haven't seen anything like 4. And if the wind is over 2 meters per second, of course, it's illegal. Not that the time's not good, but cannot be counted for any records or anything. So that's it.
One other question, but I must commend the games and the whole package that we saw today with the athletes. How difficult was it getting that together? I mean, these athletes are all over the world, I suspect.
Oh, that was a true challenge. It took probably 10 emails in one day to one agent, about 5 phone calls, and then you have to call to remind the athletes, you have to send the guidelines. But when they actually did it, they sent it instant on WhatsApp. So when it reached us, it was easy as that. We have many more to get. We were actually hoping to get more for today, but a lot of them went out to Portland, so we have to wait.
In regarding the meet itself, has it determined the amount of events it will have? What will be the events? Male and female?
Yes, there are 16 events for the day, from the 100 meters to the 5,000 meters in distance. We have the long jump for men. Well, there's a list of schedule on the website, not
Yes,
so?
it is.
Yeah?
Under our events tab, there's
Yeah.
a list of events
Of
there.
events that you can view.
So just for our recording, so we just outline the events.
Some of the events? Okay. So you have the 100 meters, male and female. You have the 200 meters, male and female. 400 meters, male and female. 400 meters hurdles, male and female. 110 meters male, long jump male, triple jump female, 800 meters male and female, 5,000 meters male, javelin male, shot put woman. Yeah? No high jump. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
And
Probably.
you mentioned the kids. I know something when you have these area meets, there are local events.
Right, and just on the events, we also included the masters, a masters 100 meters male and female. Even though, because we recognize that the masters now have been included in some of the championships, the world championships and stuff. And we have a good crop of masters in Trinidad and Tobago. They have performed well in the national circuit, and by all means, I convinced the organizers to have these masters included. At first, they thought was 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds people, but we have some pretty young masters in Trinidad and Tobago that will put on equally a good show come the 21st.
Can we expect an A and B final, or it's just an A final?
Just an A final, straight. Yeah.
In terms of the economic downturn,